What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a former WWE star arrested and suspended, Roman Reigns removed from SmackDown, Hulk Hogan's problems continue, the train wreck that was Toni Storm vs Saraya match on AEW, John Cena explains why he'll never be a dad, a fan favorite commentator returning to wrestling, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. And now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at a former WWE star arrested. On top of today's news is a report that a former WWE star and now current TNA star has entered rehab following a recent arrest. Post Wrestling's Brandon Thurston reports that TNA wrestler Rich Swann is entering a substance abuse rehab program. Post Wrestling was told by TNA on Wednesday. The company first learned of Swann's arrest when we contacted them on Monday for comment. Swann's 8th June arrest for disorderly public intoxication and causing a disturbance after he was allegedly involved in 2 incidents. The first occurred when he allegedly tried to enter an apartment, only for a resident pulling out a handgun convinced him to leave. According to Thurston, a second incident allegedly occurred when another woman reported Swann was trying to talk to her and follow her as she was picking up her packages from her son's house. She said she got into the house and locked the door as Swann was following her. The report states that Swann was later arrested and appeared to be intoxicated. Thurston noted police officer Hoskins wrote in the report, asked if Richard had any drinks containing alcohol. He stated that he did. When asked how many, he stated a lot. I asked Richard when he started to drink and he told me around 1900 hours, about 3 hours earlier. But this wasn't Swann's first arrest on an incident like this, as Thurston noted in his article that Swann was charged with the same offense in September 2022, an incident not previously reported in the media, when he was arrested for allegedly causing a disturbance while intoxicated at the apartment complex where he lives. The court ordered him to pay $351.49 related to that charge. In addition, Thurston brought up a 2017 arrest for Swann when he was charged with false imprisonment, a felony, as well as a simple domestic battery, which is a misdemeanor. These charges were ultimately dismissed. TNA has suspended Swann and issued a statement, and except that follows. TNA Wrestling takes any and all charges against its performers seriously. Rich Swann is responsible for his own personal actions. There's some conjecture that Swann mistakenly thought he was entering his own residence, but that remains conjecture and will likely be raised in any court case. Interestingly, TNA was reportedly unaware of the incident until Brandon Thurston contacted the company for a statement on Swann entering rehab. Next up, Roman Reigns removed from SmackDown show. Why isn't Roman Reigns scheduled to appear at one of WWE's biggest shows this fall? Ringside News reports that Roman Reigns is no longer being advertised for SmackDown's debut on the USA Network on 13 September. The report notes that if one checks WWE's official website for that episode, one will find that Roman Reigns has been removed from the main graphic and featured superstar section for the debut episode now. There's no word on why Roman is no longer being advertised. There are many possible reasons, including the WWE wanting to keep his presence a surprise, Roman being written off TV in a storyline, the WWE social media department making a mistake, or WWE just has so many big things planned for the show that it feels it can give Roman the night off. Nevertheless, it's a big show that he's missing, if correct. Next up, Hulk Hogan's problems continue. Now, it's been said, when it rains, it pours, and that seems to be the situation for Hulk Hogan, whose recent comments led to a public relations nightmare and renewed allegations of racism. I reported on a recent event where Hogan was hyping his new beer when he commented on body-slamming Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris, and then made comments perceived as racist. And now it appears that an attendee at the Hogan event was injured by a flying beer can. Cleveland News 5 reports, police say a 50-year-old woman was injured on Monday night after she was struck by a beer can thrown during a promotional event featuring Hulk Hogan in Medina Township. The event occurred at the Thirsty Cowboy, where Hogan was hyping his new beer, the Real American brand. However, just who threw the beer remains unclear, as the report states, according to a Medina Township police report, some witnesses told responding officers that Hogan was the one who threw the beer, but other witnesses said it was another crew member who was throwing beers from the stage like a baseball pitch. There's no word on whether the injured woman, who reportedly needed 9 stitches to close the wound, will pursue legal action. Next up, Hulk Hogan's biopic has been cancelled. As if Hogan's problems weren't bad enough, it appears the long-discussed Hulk Hogan biopic is finished. A recent Variety interview with Joker director Todd Phillips, who was reportedly going to direct the Hogan biopic, notes, nor is he going to tackle Hulkamania. At one point, Phillips was tapped to make a movie about Hulk Hogan with Chris Hemsworth enlisted to star as a wrestling champion. I love what we were trying to do, but that's not going to come together for me, he says. The project has been in discussion since 2019. and while it's not unusual for film projects to take time before they're greenlit, this one appears to have fallen into the category of developmental hell. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens provided more details on the project's status. Hogan stated last year that the project was dead in the water, and he described it as a business glitch with Netflix once the streamer pulled out of the deal to produce the movie. Earlier this year, Hemsworth noted that he was still holding out hope of doing the movie. Next up, an unlikely candidate being considered for AEW World title. As AEW fans await this Sunday's All-In pay-per-view, one of the biggest questions is whether Bryan Danielson will defeat Swerve Strickland to become AEW World Champion, or whether he'll be forced to retire. However, Dave Meltzer is reporting that AEW is mulling over the idea of a new champion, and one fans might not expect to wear the belt. Nobody expects a long title run from Danielson, but for 1 month feels too short. We've heard talk of Allen getting a run as champion no matter who wins. We know that's been talked about seriously, but as to when, that's less clear. Darby Allin faces Jack Perry for the TNT Championship, a title Allin has held twice before, as well as the AEW World Tag Team Championship alongside Sting, but is he ready for the AEW World Championship? Allin has a great look and is entertaining to watch in the ring, but even in a promotion where smaller wrestlers are pushed on the same level as monsters, it may be too much to take him seriously as world champion. And then again, putting the title on Allin may be a shake-up that AEW needs to draw fans back in or attract new viewers. Next up, the absolute train wreck of Toni Storm vs Saraya. Is AEW's women's division improving? While AEW has brought in top talent including Camille, Deonna Purrazzo and Mercedes Moné, a women's match from last night's Dynamite has some fans shaking their heads in disbelief at how it aired on AEW's flagship show. Last night's AEW Women's Championship match between champion Timeless Toni Storm and Saraya featured a series of spots that looked like two rookies trying to master chain wrestling at a wrestling school. Now, we don't want to sound too harsh, but there's no way to watch this match without asking why Toni Storm is a women's champion or why Saraya is competing for the title. It was just that bad. Toni Storm has made herself more interesting with a timeless gimmick, although some fans feel it's repetitive, but her wrestling continues to be sloppy, and rather than improving, it seems to be going downhill. As for Saraya, her run in AEW has been hit and miss, primarily due to what seems to be a lack of effort from her in promos and matches. Rumor has it that Saraya may be able to jump to the WWE, and if she does, it'll be interesting to see how she fares there after a disappointing run in AEW. Did you guys see the match? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, John Cena explains why he'll never be a dad. John Cena has done so many things during his life, but there's one thing that he won't be, and that's a father. During an appearance on the Club Shay Shay podcast, Cena explained, "I have a certain curiosity about life, and I also know the investment that it takes. And my biggest fear is, as someone who's driven many times stubborn and selfish, I try to approach the world with kindness and curiosity, but I don't think I'm personally ready, nor will I ever be, to invest the time it needs to be a great parent, because I want to live life for all it is, and I still have a lot to do, and I still want to do a lot. I have a wonderful partner I do it with. We've had open conversations about this. We share the same values." While Cena's circumstances could change where he rethinks fatherhood, it appears he knows what he wants in life, and that parenthood isn't something that he's cut out for. Finally, a fan favorite commentator returning to wrestling. And last but not least, fans of former WWE announcer Mauro Ranallo will be happy to hear he's coming back to call the action in the ring. Inside the Ropes reports that Mauro, who called the action on SmackDown and NXT, is set to work in former TNA president Scott D'Amore's new promotion at Maple Leaf Pro. D'Amore spoke with Chris Van Vliet about why he chose Ranallo. "To me, in wrestling and in sport, one of the most important things is the voice that's leading you down this journey. The voice that is giving you this background and describing the action in the ring, explaining it, providing that your emotion is your tour guide on this journey is so important. You need to have a great voice, and I think we have one of the very best, indisputably the best combat sports cross-genre announcer, because Mauro Ranallo has agreed to be the voice of Maple Leaf Pro. Ranallo has covered many sports, including Canadian football, hockey, kickboxing, and MMA. The new promotion has a 2-night event scheduled for 19th and 20th October, and Inside the Ropes reports several stars will appear in the promotion, including former WWE superstar Jinder Mahal, AEW's Takashita, and TNA star Josh Alexander. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.